it's not because I work in film and television. In fact, it's the other way around. You remember that shot of Om Shanti Om, where Shantipriya gets out of the car waving at everyone, and everyone just wanted to see her, and she defined the main character moment for me. I wish I get to live it one day, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to talk about Romanticism. By definition, it means a literary and artistic moment marked chiefly by the emphasis on the imagination and emotions. Originally, it was European artistic and intellectual movement that emerged in the late 18th century as a reaction against the Enlightenment's emphasis on reasoning. But here it is on focus, and focus on emotions rather than the reality. A celebration of intense emotions with deep appreciation for the beauty. The moment highlighted the importance of individual and personal experiences and subjective perspectives, especially when the world became too rational and focused merely on logic and reasoning. Unordered and Romanticism became a deliberate projection of ideas which became too restrictive. However, it wasn't really a political move either, rather a birth of new perspective, if you will. And that came with a new shift in how people looked at nature, love, sex, money, and work. I won't really go too deep into the history of the terminology, but you can read about it in articles mentioned in the description. And watch this video by the School of Life, here somewhere. But none of this really sounds like the modern notion of Romanticism, does it? Which literally can be summed up by a general public as believing you're the main character and write your own plot twist because you're the writer of your life and blah 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 blah. Well, for a generation before, or people who are really into arts and creative fields, for such an alike, Romanticism is choosing to live the hard life of an artist than to be a corporate slave, to choose a tree over factories. It's not just about sipping a cup of coffee, imagining yourself to be in a Persian cafe, which, trust me, is a dream come true one day with all these visa restrictions and stuff, but truth be told, for me, Romanticism is not just looking at the beauty of one's emotions, but accepting the dark, ugly, cruel, vulgar toxication of one's own truth. An artist kills herself because the world made her believe that the world only cares about the artist and their art when the artist is dead. The young poet of revolution never gets a chance to write or get their poetry published because, well, they didn't have the funds to. Or the artist turned dictator. I think many of us have the romantics within us, which with time either we learn to silence or accept them only to hide them. But only a few of us are brave enough or have the courage to be romantics and scream at the top of our lungs. Someone will always say, "But you're just ignoring the real problem." And to that I say, is talking your heart out, dark and ugly, to someone you really trust once in a while, really ignoring your problems or addressing it? I mean, art isn't useless. It is literally the only thing you turn to when life gets tough. You lose someone really close, you turn to music that relates and talks about your pain. It is art. You love a certain film and it's your go-to for a movie night. It is art. You hear someone's poetry. It's art. Even me, this talking to you is art. I wrote this essay last night and it will be published tomorrow. Ideation or expression of any emotion is art. Accepting it and accepting yourself for the same is Romanticism. It's choosing your perspective. The bills are still gonna be there, trust me. Life's not gonna get easier, but Romanticism gives you a lens of resilience. It's much harder for you to feel completely defeated when you've framed your life beyond reasoning. You become this character who can handle the plot twists, if you will. We live in a world that loves to grind down everything into its most utilitarian function. A commute to work is just time lost. A meal is just fuel. But when you romanticize, you reclaim that time. You inject it in purpose and beauty. It's a direct rebellion against the grey, productivity-driven culture. We talked about it before. Romanticizing life won't really make your problems vanish. It will, however, make you more accepting of yourself. So you tell me, what's the next thing you're romanticizing? Until next time.